this. I like this. I like this.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Sports Arena on a Monday night. Your man, Eric Wilson. As you can see, I got the fellas in the house. Man, normally I introduce them individually, but we got so much to talk about. I can't even waste no time. I got my man, John Shear, Mike Harris-Nudo, and my co-host, Ray Lynn. Gentlemen, let's just jump right into this. As always, here on Monday nights, we start with our peak performer of the week. So, John Shear, coming to you hot, man, fresh out the oven. Who's your peak performer of the week, sir?
I mean, it has to be Josh Allen. What he did to the Steelers, man. Like, that was just gross. I mean, he had over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half. Like, that was disgusting. And if he wanted to keep running it up, he could have. But, I mean, he didn't even play the fourth quarter. They took their foot off the gas for the most part. I mean, it has to be Josh Allen. Like, he only played basically a half, and that was, like, more than a game for a lot of people.
All right, Mike Harris-Nudo, peak performer of the week, sir.
Micah Parsons, one leg Micah Parsons, second best defensive player in the league, hands down, not close. Aaron Donald is still number one with what he does and continues to do. Micah Parsons, second year, phenomenal. And to do it on one leg, and Eric, you know this because linebackers aren't like you and I kidded about this the first night we had dinner. Remember, receivers and maybe running backs will kind of like limp around, act like they're kind of hurt, and then make some big play. Defensive players don't mess with that. They're banged up, but they keep going. So to get that last sack, which actually was helmet to helmet, probably should have been a roughing the passer on Matthew Stafford, wasn't. But Micah Parsons, hands down, my peak performer. And yes, I actually have to credit John. Second place to me went to Josh Allen.
Ray Lynn.
Get used to this name. And I happen to pick him up in every fantasy league. I think I'm in 4 and I got him in 3. Brees Hall. Like Brees Hall, like 97 yards rushing, 100 yards receiving. Like he went off. Unfortunately, he was on my bench in 2 of my leagues. But listen, that kid is special. And I remember before the season, a friend of mine, we were talking about him, and it was like, he won't hold that starting position long. Brees Hall is coming, and he's arrived already. That kid is special. Obviously, John took the easy way, and there's nothing wrong with that. Josh Allen was my first answer, but I'm okay with going Brees Hall. And depending on who E mentions, we have to give an honorable mention elsewhere. But I'm gonna leave it to E.
Oh, listen, my peak performer was the entire New York Jets team, boy, because I was like, y'all hung 40 on the Miami Dolphins. Now, look, granted, Bridgewater was out under concussion protocol. You had a third string quarterback come in. He did what he was serviceable. But when I saw the New York Jets hang 40 on John Shear's Miami Dolphins, boy, I was like,
it ain't the same Dolphins as you.
Oh, y'all. Oh, no. Don't try and run, John. You still gonna claim them. Don't even do that.
No, I'm telling you, this isn't a healthy team.
Okay, I can name a bunch of teams that still ain't healthy, and listen. I was gonna go.
No, they're not. Xavier Howard didn't play.
Okay, John. I was gonna go Bailey Zappi and say he was.
Hey, man. Hey. We not doing none of that. E. We not doing that.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Keep on talking to John about who did what to his Dolphins. We don't talk about that around here. I have to, because we can't go a segment without mentioning this guy. 13 targets, 12 receptions, 154 yards. Only thing he didn't do was get in the end zone. Justin Jefferson is looking unstoppable.
Yes.
Like that's the second time this year he did this too. We had 130 in the first half.
Fantasy, Raylan. My number one pick in fantasy.
Hey, but here's the thing, Mike. The way they're playing this year, this is crazy. I'm in a fantasy league where the scoring is crazy. One of our guys missed the draft and auto drafted, and every week he's playing 2 receivers and he's playing a receiver at the flex. You know what his 3 receivers are? Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, and Cooper Kupp. Don't ask me how it happened. I don't know. But all 3, they all balling.
10-team league.
10-team league. 10-team league.
Wow. That's amazing. All right, gentlemen, let's transition to the NBA because we have to talk about this conversation. We have to get into it. As we saw, TMZ, quote unquote, leaked the video of the incident between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. So, there's so much going on in the NBA where we're getting so much transparency. You go from the Ume Udoka situation and now this situation going on with Draymond and Jordan Poole, and it just seems like the NBA is like, okay, we're going to peel back the curtain. We're going to show y'all what's really going on here. Now, Draymond has apologized, and say what you will, I feel it was heartfelt. I don't see there was any, I think it was true. I think it was genuine. But this is a situation that we are going to be talking about this entire season if their chemistry is off. But let me hear from the three of you, gentlemen, specifically you, Ray, about this situation, man, because I know, listen, you are a leader amongst men. Your knowledge of sports is not pigeonholed into one specific organization, one specific team, one specific, entity. But talk to me about this, man.
This is one of those things, like a lot of things in sports, right? Like we as fans, we as analysts, we as sports, just people who love the game, right? Where people typically, their stance on any situation is kind of based on how they feel about a player, right? Like if a player plays good and you don't care for that player, it's like, oh, he got lucky, or oh, his team did this. And if you love a player, you're like, see, I told you so. It's just kind of what people do, right? So where people stand on this kind of falls with what they feel about Draymond Green. Like people that have been saying for the past 2-3 seasons or so, oh, he's washed. Or now everybody's favorite line now is Mr. Triple Single, because Charles Barkley made a joke about it on TNT, right? Like, so if you feel a certain way about Draymond, you're going to go over the top to the left with this and go, oh, he was wrong. Oh, the apology wasn't heartfelt. Oh, the team going to have chemistry issues. Like, they ain't going to have no issues. Like, this kind of stuff happens all the time. And people keep going, it's nothing like when Mike punched Steve Kerr. Why ain't it? A player got punched in practice. Only difference now is we live in a different age where like social media, man, it was all over the place so fast. Like the minute I saw the video, every post on my timeline on Facebook was about the punch heard around the world, right? Jordan Poole didn't look bothered. He went out right in the next preseason game and dropped 25.
He looked like the guy. He looked like the guy from Friday.
But I think they'll be fine, man. People forget, right? Everybody goes back to the KD situation, right? Draymond and KD and all of that. They went to the finals that year. And most believe if Clay, Boogie, and KD don't all get hurt, they win the championship in 2019. Right? Like when your team is talented, y'all been there, done that, you know how to overcome this small stuff. And I will say this is my last thing. For people that want to go, who do you choose between the two? Let me explain this to the world. Give me a solo shot, E. I don't care what y'all think about his statistics. I don't care about the triple single stuff. I don't care if he averaged 8 points. Since 2015, Draymond Green has been the second most important player on the Golden State Warriors. It's Steph Curry, then it's him. They proved in 15 and 16 it wasn't about KD. KD came there. He was amazing. He's an amazing talent. He fit right in. He won 2 finals MVPs. Guess what? He left and they went back and won another title. So it was never about KD. Clay was a shell of himself this year. You know who's important? Steph Curry is the engine that drives it all, and Draymond Green is the heartbeat of that team. He's a 6'7" undersized center that allows them to play small ball, switch everything. Oh, and by the way, he's your best defender, and he's the best facilitator on the team. He's one of those guys that the box score do not tell you how important he is to that team. But if it comes down to picking one of them, I can find 20 players in the NBA that can give me 18 points per game, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. I can find a ton of them. Young up-and-coming stars. You can't replace the Draymond Green. I don't care what the stats say. Just that simple.
All right.
Oh,
John, go ahead, brother.
Sorry, I fell asleep.
Yeah, we know.
I fell asleep during.
Okay, Mike, go ahead since he's trying to be funny.
So I'm with Ray on that because but the triple single comment was created for Lonzo Ball though. That was created for Lonzo. Charles cracked that joke the first time for Lonzo. I know he's used it on Draymond, but you're right. But look, he is the most important player. And I've said that even before you came on the show, like the NBA, just like the NFL, it's not about defense. But when you have a small five like that, like you're saying, you hear every coach say, if you can switch everything, it's a lot better than having a guy have to chase. And we all know that, especially if you can switch on guards. Now, yes, granted, he's not defending, Steph in a game, but if you imagine if teams had somebody that could just switch out on Steph that could actually be that long and maybe change a shot from 30 feet. But to me, the video getting leaked too is, stuff like this happens in practice all the time. Kobe punched players in practice too. Kobe got into a few brawls. MJ and Steve Kerr. Michael Jordan, even back in the day, and Bill Cartwright, Phil Jackson talked about how he actually, for most competitive scrimmages, had to put them on the same side because Michael Jordan thought that Cartwright was too loose with his elbows, which, of course, when he's on his team, didn't care. But he would fight Cartwright all the time, too. So, again, it's not cool that the video got leaked. I'm with the club on that, whoever did leak it. I mean, if the club wanted it leaked, because I saw stuff like on Facebook and online too, Ray, that like, oh, the club wanted it leaked and they want to put a spark. I'm like, put a spark under a team that just won the championship that has all those guys coming back that are completely like out to kill everybody because of what was said about them with all the injuries when they were down. Like, if the club wanted it leaked, to me, that would be something that would kind of be quote unquote staged in the middle of the season or towards the end of the season if it was going bad. So whoever leaked it, I think should be fired. And I don't use that lightly, Eric, but it's like, it should stay within the team. I mean, they were right, but how Draymond handled it is wrong. And I mean, one of the comments I saw said he's not sorry for hitting him. He's sorry that the video got leaked. But yeah, I mean, I think to a lot of other, maybe to younger teams, to Raylan's point, if it was a younger team, I don't know how they'd be able to handle it, but the Warriors will just move on and come out and, just start burying people again.
John?
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with what Draymond did. I mean, if all the things about what was being said about him, I have no problem with what he did. But to Raylan's point, I mean, like, this guy got a 4-year, $99 million contract just to be glue, like just to be a terrible offender, and you play defense, you do dirty work. Congratulations. Like, there's plenty of guys out there that, do dirty work and play defense, and no, they don't get rewarded with a 4-year, $99 million contract.
You clearly don't watch the Golden State Warriors.
It's the dumbest. Hold on.
You clearly don't watch them. Clearly.
Stop.
Clearly.
Like, there is no way I would ever pay a guy that kind of money to be the glue, to be the heart and soul. Oh, Tim Tebow was glue. Tim Tebow had all the intangibles in the NFL, but we're not going to pay him a giant contract. Like, congratulations, you got like intangibles and things like that. But what can you do in the box score? You can do absolutely nothing. Get this guy out of here.
Let me ask you a question.
We can get rid of him.
Let me ask you a question.
Get rid of him and not miss a beat.
John.
I'm tired of hearing this. He's the glue that holds it together.
I know, John, just do me a favor. Do me a favor. In your lifetime of watching basketball, name me 5 players that have led their team in rebounds and assists in the same season.
I don't know. I don't watch basketball as closely as you.
So you shouldn't stop. You shouldn't be talking crazy then, because I'm telling you, it's a rare feat. You know the kind of players that lead their team in rebounds and assists? LeBron James, Kevin Garnett.
He's nowhere near LeBron James.
We know he's not those guys. I'm simply saying how rare of a feat it is for a guy to be the best defender, best rebounder, and best facilitator on the team. We get so enamored with the guy scoring 30. Draymond's not that. And I'll tell you this much. His value lies in Golden State. Any other team, he's not that valuable. But along with Steph Curry, second most valuable guy on the team. It's proven. 4 championships.
Steph Curry makes him valuable. He's not actually valuable. He's only valuable because Steph Curry allows that to happen. That says enough for me.
However you want to word it, if I know this show is good with just Ray, but Ray and John makes it great, well, let's get John too. John's not great by himself, but he's great when he's going to Ray. Ray's not good by himself, but he's great when he's going to John. Mike's like to talk, whatever you want to say, right? If you realize that 2 people together have something special, then what do you mean? If I have Steph Curry and this guy helps Steph Curry be the best version of himself, he knows how to set the screens. He knows how to give him the ball in his best spots. He knows how to cause out of sets on defense. He facilitates the offense. Why the hell wouldn't he be important to me, John? And we done won 4 championships.
He's not able to be successful anywhere else. What does that say about him?
But John, hold on.
Real quick, Eric. He ain't got to be successful nowhere else. The team that he's been successful with is the one that paid him the money.
But they're talking about.
They done went to 6 finals and won 4 championships, John.
You're talking about being able to get rid of him and upgrade. Not paying
upgrade
all
to
that
who?
money.
Upgrade to who? Who's the upgrade?
You could do better than what you're getting from him.
I'm so serious. John, did you see Golden State when he went out last year?
I don't have people.
I did.
When they had the number 1 record in the league.
Yeah.
And Draymond got injured and their defense plummeted. Did you see when that happened? Because I did. And they wound up with the 3rd seed in the West. That's what happened last year when Draymond went out. They had the best record in the NBA. Draymond missed some significant time, and they finished with the 3rd seed in the West. Phoenix walked them down. Memphis walked them down. Draymond comes back. He rounds into shape for the playoffs. They win a championship. He's that important to that team. That's a fact.
John, and to answer your question, you can't get rid of a key component like that when you know the chemical makeup. I'll take Ray's point and elaborate it even further. The 4 of us 10, 12 years ago did not know each other, okay? All right? And let's say we all, well, Mike, okay, you and I spent 15 years, but my point is, let's just take 10 years ago, okay? And let's say we were all each doing our own individual podcast 10 years ago, all right? Now, that's 2012, when the podcast was really starting to evolve. And all of a sudden, one day I happen to click on and I see Ray's show, and I'm like, damn, I like this brother. I was like, maybe him and I could make something happen. Or I saw your show. Or of course, me and Mike reconnected. I'm like, Mike, man, why ain't we do like an Eagles Cowboys show and keep this thing rolling? You know what I mean? So it's adding those key components. We talk about, Ray says it best, we talk about those complementary pieces that add to the success of a team.
Yeah, but
and Draymond does that for the Golden State Warriors.
I don't feel
Ray
like
just said that.
Draymond's here. I feel like this is 4 Stephs. I don't feel like there's no Draymond's here.
Well, I appreciate the
like,
sentiment.
I don't feel like there's any,
I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if I have to pick between which person I am most like, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm more of a Draymond than I am a Steph Curry. I would much rather facilitate how this conversation goes. I would much rather pass the rock to one of the 3 of you and let y'all do what you do best, which is educate and entertain the people that watch us each and every Monday and Wednesday night.
You're gonna do.
But if you give it to me,
Green's hands, I know he ain't doing nothing.
But no, you can't say that, John. You cannot say that based on who he is and based on what we've seen them do. Okay. All right. I'm going to agree to disagree because we got so much more to talk about. I need 20 seconds with you not on the screen. So we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sports Arena. Got a little technical difficulty going on over here. I apologize. We'll try and get that fixed. I know I'm like kind of blurred out. But anyhow, so let's talk about the Bucks and the Falcons game that happened on Sunday. Because there has been major speculation about the roughing the passer call that was basically given to the Bucks. And ultimately, people are saying this is the reason why the Bucks won and the Falcons were unsuccessful in their divisional matchup. I want to hear from each one of you what you thought about that call and what you thought about the end of that game. Mike, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, again, something like that, and I know I touched on it at the beginning, it goes back to me when they first started changing the rule, Eric, and I get it. Like, if I have a 350-pound dude that can run a 4.5, 4.7, and he puts all his weight on a 220-pound quarterback, yeah, I get it. Like, they wanted to stop that. But, I mean, even when the rule first came in and Clay Matthews, even though he plays for the Packers, I could care less, had the chest bump, like, that got called roughing the passer. It's like, what do you want a defender to do? Like, if the competition committee could also define how to defy physics, which is pretty impossible to do, but that wasn't even a dirty hit. And even John Perea on Monday night on the pregame show and countdown was saying, yeah, you grab and you roll. Like, he didn't throw him. He grabbed, he rolled, and that's it. He let him go. And the fact that these quarterbacks, and I mean, fans and everybody gets so whiny with the offense, they want flags every play, which is ridiculous. But that call in and of itself was terrible. And just like Raylan said right before we came on the air, I mean, that one's going to be getting called all night, especially if Kansas City does lose this game. But to that point, yeah, the Falcons didn't do much for the first 3 quarters to win the game. But when you have the momentum, Eric, you know as well as I do, like, that sack is forcing them to punt. Like, and do the Falcons still have to go down and score? Yes, they do. Did they have the momentum to where let's say 55% of us thought they could? I think they maybe could have. But, of course, we'll never know because Brady gets another BS call. And, you know, I'm sure Charles Woodson was somewhere cringing too.
John Scheer, talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, Mike hit like every single point. Joe Carlino with a great point. They got robbed of the opportunity, not necessarily the game. I mean, we saw this with the Josh Allen thing against the Ravens. Coincidentally, guess who was the ref in that game? The same exact guy, Jerome Boger, the same exact guy who messed up the call in this game. I think that there should be some sort of like penalty for these refs. I know that they get like they get hounded, after each game. But there should be some sort of like when you're ruining these games like this, there's got to be something because this just isn't right. But Mike is completely right. Like, you can't take the physicality out of the game. Like, there's nothing Grady Jarrett can do. There's nothing he did wrong. I mean, there's Josh Allen, there's Lamar Jackson, there's Patrick Mahomes. If you try and tackle them lightly, you three, what do you think happens? They escape that. They roll out. And they make a huge.
But John,
pass.
here's the thing.
And instead of getting sacked, they threw a 50-yard touchdown, and you're like, well, why didn't you sack him? Well, I couldn't really touch him.
John, here's the thing real quick. Yes, the referees, but that's why I threw in the competition committee, because that's everybody, fans need to realize that. It's what the competition committee wants enforced, because, Eric, that's the thing too. Or John, that's the thing too. Before they want it enforced. So in the preseason, we're going to get this. And usually the first 4 or 5 games every season, they get a lot of what the competition committee voted and ruled on. So yes, it is the ref's discretion, but it's coming from above them too.
It's just funny how it was Boger the same way, like it happened with Josh Allen and the Ravens, and then next week happens with the same ref, same big play to decide the game. It's like, how's that happen 2 weeks in a row with the same guy? I think that there should be some way after the season, much like they did the OT rule in the playoffs, they should be able to review these in certain instances of the game. Not all game,
in college.
Not every play, because you slow the game down too much. But you should be able to challenge it, for example.
Okay. So here's what I'll say about this, and then I will turn it over to Ray, because again, I want to get to our new segment. Here's the problem that I have with this whole thing. I respect what the man has done for the game. And when you play 22 consecutive years and you have 7 Super Bowls and you've been to 10 Super Bowls, you win 7 of the 10 that you've gone to. Why is there not more conversation about Brady kicking his leg up and almost kicking Grady Jarrett?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I understand Tom Brady is Tom Brady. But if we're talking about consistency, which Mike and I will use that word through every single sport, if you're going to be consistent in game 1, then damn it, you're going to be consistent in the NFC Championship game. So if this is what we're doing right now, if this is the road that we're going down, then I don't want to see no more calls, or I want to see more calls like that when moves, legit football moves are being made. I want to see more of these calls happen, because you're going to be consistent about it. And that's what bothers me. Referees should never be allowed to dictate how the game progresses. Okay. It comes down to the offensive and defensive teams, the 2 teams on the field, and how they perform. But letting a ref, a coach, a fan, or somebody else dictate how the outcome of this game is going to be ruins the integrity of the game. Ray, I'll kick it to you, and then I want to get to our new segment.
Yeah, 2 things on this. Hey, John, what's the ref's name that messed up last night?
Jerome Boger.
Is he reffing tonight?
He was reffing. Wait, you can't ref 2 games in a row. You can only ref 1 a weekend.
Okay, because we just saw the same thing in this. We just saw the same thing on Monday Night Football, am I right? We talking about the exact same thing, right? It's ridiculous at this point, man. And I'm one of the people I kind of understand, right? Especially with concussions and the movie and players starting to come out and speak more than players retiring early. The NFL wants to protect their investment, right? Quarterbacks are that's it, right? They're the face of the game, right? You could see a star left tackle walking down the street. I didn't know what Joe Thomas looked like, so I saw him on one of those. The Rock had a show. The Rock has one of those.
The Titan
shows. The Titan. I didn't know what he looked like, so I saw him on that show. Why? He's a lineman. You know what I'm saying? You know what quarterbacks look like, though, right? So they're the cash cows. I get it. But at some point, it's man, you're not allowing great players to be great. You're not allowing defenders to do what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to, it's a vicious game. It's crazy to say you're supposed to be trying to hurt them guys. You're supposed to be trying to jar the ball loose. You're supposed to be trying to make them think about next time they come your way. And now you're taking all of that out of the game and going, if you watch the play tonight, and I'm switching it, you was talking about last night, but this just happened, right? You saw him put his arm down and try to brace it so he wouldn't put his whole body over. He's 300 some odd pounds. what he's supposed to do, right? Like, what is he supposed to do? We talking about a situation. It was going into the half. By the way, Kansas City's up. It was going into the half, and as opposed to a strip, a fumble, a sack, strip, sack, fumble. Does that say strip, sack, fumble? Right. First down for the other team now. Like, really? Like, it's ridiculous, man. And on this note, I've never understood this. Why do offensive players get to do what they want to do to defensive players? Like, if a running back turn the corner and take his hand and mush face a defender, we love it, right? Let a defender just barely touch a face mask, make an attack. Like, it's ridiculous, man. I think they're taking a lot of the physicality out of the game. And to a certain extent, they get it at the same time. It's like it's a physical game. People know what they signed up for. And they taking the game out of players' hands. They handicapping these defenders, and it's ridiculous, man.
All right. You know what? I would. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say go. We gonna go to church on this one, but I'm gonna take a real quick 13-second break, and then we're gonna come back with our new segment here we're doing on the Sports Arena. It's called "Who Knew? I Knew." Be right back. All right, welcome back. Brand new segment we are starting here tonight. If y'all have not seen, shout out to the legendary comedian Earthquake with his Netflix special aptly called Legendary. He has a segment in there where he just goes off, and it sparked in my brain. Like, I was like, we got to make a segment out of this. So the segment is called Who Knew? I Knew. So I'm going to go first, then John, then Mike, and I'm going to let Ray finish up. But here is what I will tell you I knew was going to happen yesterday, and it actually happened today. So my who knew? I knew that Matt Rule was going to get fired. I knew that before they played San Francisco on Sunday, because Carolina is just not who we expected them to be. And again, it falls on Baker Mayfield. You got Christian McCaffrey, you got Robbie Anderson, you have a defense that bend don't break, and Baker Mayfield still cannot figure out how to get it done. I knew Matt Rule was going to get fired because of the decision to have Baker Mayfield at their quarterback. Who knew? I knew.
Yeah, I have to say, who knew? I knew. I mean, Mike, Ty, Ray, all of you, Eric, Megan, all of you. What'd you guys do? You picked the Detroit Lions? And I knew the entire time that the Patriots would absolutely roll over the Detroit Lions. I knew the Patriots would do this. You got the Lions. I mean, what they've done all year is play from behind, and then they score a lot of points. This has been the Lions' MO for forever. I've watched them forever. This is what the Lions do. They put up garbage time points like Dak Prescott, which have garbage time yards. This is what the Lions do. And so when you face Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick was going to get one of these this year, where he just comes out and vintage Bill Belichick. So it's going to get one of these this year. Just happened to be against a banged-up Detroit Lions. It really didn't matter if it was banged up or not. They still would have beat him. But, I mean, if you had Swift and company and St. Brown was healthy, you wouldn't have shut him out. But still, I mean, the Patriots rolled him over 29-0. Lions hit rock bottom. I think Dan Campbell was crying after the game. I knew that the Patriots were going to roll them over, but y'all still picked the Lions anyway. So who knew? I knew.
If I was a defense attorney, I would say everything you heard, like my cousin Vinny, is a bullshit. Thank you. Anyway, the who knew I knew part, because John also picked the Dolphins to beat the Jets. So anyway, but the who knew I knew, I'm going to go with the G-Men in London beating the Packers. Like John's bragging about, we all picked the Lions. Yeah. It was all over the Packers. Everybody's and Ray's made some great points. Again, it is Aaron Rodgers. I expect a lot from Aaron Rodgers because of his talent. 100% agree. Saquon Barkley came into the week leading the NFL in total yards. Yeah. And Daniel Jones was banged up. And the Packers got a league. And Brian Daboll just, they stay calm. Saquon Barkley gets the ball. They get some big touchdowns. And I said it in the preseason. I will take credit for this one, Eric. Bringing the center over from Buffalo that knows Feliciano, that knows what Daboll wants to get done. A lot of the offense they're tweaking in. Daniel Jones is getting used to. You have a runner like Saquon Barkley. Guess what? And yes, Eric loves this, complimenting a Penn State guy because his highlights, yes, through college and the pros healthy. Yeah, give me Saquon Barkley all day. They got down, and the fact they came back on the Packers, and then Aaron Rodgers is, blah, 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 excuse, blah. The Giants D just made plays, and Saquon Barkley chewed that defense up. Kind of like the Jets offense chewed up the Dolphins defense yesterday, but I knew that too anyway. But the G-men get the who knew I knew for me for the week.
John, we were cool at one point. Eric, I hate the fact that you went first and I went last because I'm going to have to switch it, but I do need to remind the people from Eric's first point.
Carolina before we move on.
Real quick, you don't have to put me on the screen by myself. This is for the whole panel. John, Mike, Eric. Gun to your head, life on the line. Would you rather be mauled by a bear or locked in a room with 5,000 killer bees?
I hate bees.
Oh.
I hate bees.
Real quick, Eric, you see the look on your face right now?
Bees.
That's how the coach and the fans have to feel about having to pick between Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield as your starting quarterback. Would you rather be mauled by a bear or locked in a room with 1,000 bees? I just would like to say that I said before the season that Carolina was going to suck because Baker Mayfield sucks. That was a whole 2-minute video that I talked about Baker Mayfield. But since Eric went that route, I'm going to go another route. Do you know who just threw that third touchdown pass right now? Do y'all know? I don't want a solo shot. I want everybody on here. Eric, you know who just threw that third touchdown pass tonight?
I do not, sir.
Patrick Mahomes. Do you know what that third touchdown pass does? And it's the end of the third quarter. That ties him with the league lead with Josh Allen. And there's a guy. Let me see. Which way am I sitting? That guy right there. Him. Y'all see him? Him up there. That guy told me before the season that Patrick Mahomes was going to suck without Tyreek Hill. That's what he told me. And I told him Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. Tyreek Hill is not going to make a difference. And here we are in week 5. Patrick Mahomes with his third touchdown pass tonight is tied for the league lead. Patrick Mahomes has the second best passer rating in the NFL behind Geno Smith of all people, right? The Kansas City Chiefs are 3-1, about to be 4-1 if they close this game out tonight. The Chiefs offense doesn't look like they miss Tyreek Hill at all. Just a different kind of offense.
1-yard touchdown, 4-yard touchdown, 8-yard touchdown. Here we go again. Those dink and dunk touchdowns. Let me run up them stats.
Wait a minute.
I told you the other week.
Stop. John, stop. What do you mean? Let me run up them stats. Is he not supposed to try and score? So wait a minute. What you're saying? Hold on. What you're saying, John? I want to make sure I understand this real quick. I want to make sure I understand this, John. What you're saying to me is real quick. What you're saying is when they get inside the 5-yard line, he shouldn't try and score.
He does these little dink
1 yard, 4 yard,
hand it off, and you get a touchdown. He ain't throwing 50-yard bombs anymore to Tyreek Hill. Like that ain't happening no more.
So let me ask you a question.
I thought you got juju for that.
In football, when you score, right? Does the scoreboard change? Like if I throw a 50-yard touchdown pass, do I get 9 points instead of 6?
No, I'm just curious why Patrick Mahomes can't do that anymore.
He's leading the league in touchdown passes, John.
But why can't you throw those bombs anymore without Tyreek Hill? Why can't
John, no. Don't switch your argument.
I'm just curious.
You said that Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be not without Tyreek Hill. Guess what? He had a different type of offense now, and he figured that out too. Like I told you he would. Who knew, John? I knew.
You hack.
Oh, this segment's going to be this segment.
Hey, John, you're saying Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen blew up against the Steelers yesterday, but do you know that scoring is down in the NFL this year that it's been in like 3 or 4 seasons? You know why? Because it's copycat time. Defensive coordinators are sick of it. Safeties are getting faster. And I know since you're such a genius defensive coordinator, your Dolphins could be undefeated. The safeties are sitting there. The safeties are sitting there up high, just showing out, saying you're not getting behind us. Hey. John, I would love to play against you because it might be like my old Tecmo Bowl playing days, because that's one game I will challenge anybody in. You will not cross the 50 on me. You can pick my team, and you will not cross the 50 on me.
Weird hill to die on.
You are absolutely clueless.
What just happened? Did we just get a Tecmo Bowl challenge? I
have no idea.
I don't know what just happened.
Yes. We got a Tecmo Bowl.
Because it's the defense, man. It's how defenses play. You don't want to give credit to defense, but you'll throw out that lame, Tua's efficiency is better than Patrick Mahomes. 20 yards. Tua has this. Tua has that. Guess
Gentlemen.
what? Patrick Mahomes to raise point.
Hey,
gets
real quick. Hey, here you go. Here you
Gets
go,
him in
Mike.
the end zone. Yep. That's me, by the way. He gets him in the end zone. Raise point.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it's 1 yard or 50. Yeah, Josh Allen had a 98-yarder against Pittsburgh's defense yesterday. What happened with the strong safety was sucked up, and it's like, dude, and they're both chasing Gabe Davis. Defensive coordinators who are smart, unlike you, are playing these two shells.
By the way,
Mahomes.
Gabe
Yes,
Davis, did we see that play? Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Which one?
The,
Where he
the,
stole it
away
from
from
the 98 was great, but the other one,
stole
he
it
was
away
just
from
a
Gabe
man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis.
He had
if
the
you want me-
interception, and Gabe
Listen.
Davis took it out of his hands before.
Well, they caught it
became
together,
official.
and Gabe Davis ripped it. Yeah.
If you don't know the name, you better learn it quick. All right, gentlemen, we got to keep it moving. All right, so we talked about the Giants. Thank you, Mike. Let's get into this because it is one of the weeks that I kind of dread, but one of the weeks that I also love. It is Eagles-Cowboy week, but let's go back to yesterday. The fact that the Cowboys did, in fact, beat the Rams. They are tied with the New York Football Giants at 4-1. And mind you, the one loss came at the hands of Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is undefeated as a starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys this season. For the second time, and as you can see, I hate saying stuff like this, but I got to give credit where credit is due. The Dallas Cowboys are undefeated, which are being led at the quarterback position by Cooper Rush. Now, listen, I will not sleep on that defense. I know what Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and LVE bring to the table. Okay, let me not. I'm not going to be, and Trayvon Diggs too. I'm not going to be stupid and just say the whole team is horrible. But the fact that this team is on pace with the rest of the division, minus the Commanders, the NFC East has the most wins in any division right now. We all thought that the AFC West, two of those teams which are playing tonight, were going to be beating up on each other and surmounting themselves as the top division. And we're not there yet, but the fact that the Cowboys did beat the Rams in SoFi, John Shear, what does this say about Dallas?
It says that they got to win low-scoring games and run the ball to win, because if you get into anything worth scoring, I don't think that they can keep up. So they realize that they got to control the clock, which I'm not knocking. I'm just telling you, they got to control the clock. They got to play great defense, and that is the only formula they have to win, because if you get into anything 28 and above like that, they have no shot. Because if you're telling me that they're led by Cooper Rush, the guy completed 10 passes for a little over 100 yards yesterday. Like, make sure you check the box score, because he did absolutely nothing to help in this win. That was all the defense shutting down Matt Stafford and company. It was all the defense. So let's not give Cooper Rush the credit for this win, because he didn't do anything. It's like Joe Flacco throwing 34 yards in a playoff game at Foxborough and winning, and give him credit for a road win, in his career. Like, okay. I can't give Cooper Rush the credit for winning this.
I'm going to go to Ray, and then Mike, I'll let you have your moment. Go ahead, Ray.
I don't remember what show it was. If you recall, we had a show, and I was talking about Dak and Zeke when they was rookies, right? When the thought process was Tony Romo was going to be the starter. Dak comes in. They reel off some wins, and it's like, hey, we can't go away from this. And I think they went 13-3 that year, right? Mm-hmm. Dallas has always been good when the defense is good and the run game was solid, right? The key part to that being the defense, right? Even when DeMarco Murray was leading the league in rushing, they were solid, right? Like, then Zeke came along. They were real solid. Now, the run game isn't there, but that defense, they've yet to give up 20 points. They give them 19, 17, 16, 10, and 10, right? It's all about the defense. It really don't have a whole lot to do with Cooper Rush. Here's the interesting part. Now when Dak is healthy, do you throw him back out there and try to generate this high-powered offense, right? Because that's what it's been the past couple of years, and it is not the Cowboys' cup of tea. This defense is special. Like, it is special. Mike said earlier, Micah Parsons is the second-best defensive player in the league. Probably a reach, because I'm a huge fan of, you got to continuously show me, you got to have a consistency. But from a talent standpoint and what he's out there doing, you can't argue it. Like, so, I mean, Dallas is for real, man. They're for real. You have to bring Dak back when he comes back. I just hope that they keep this same. Oh, and that's the other point, E. When your team won the Super Bowl, I told people that if Carson Wentz would have stayed healthy, y'all wouldn't have won it. There is something about, like win one for the Gipper. Like when the backup quarterback comes in, the team kind of rallies around that guy and they play a little harder. They go the extra mile because that's the guy that's working hard in practice that don't get to play. That's the guy that put in all the extra hours, watches film, does the studying, but doesn't get to play. So now he gets to play and everybody rallies around that guy and they play harder. They played harder for Nick Foles. They played harder for him. Y'all wouldn't have won if it was Carson Wentz. I firmly believe that. I said it when it happened. And I believe that now. I believe Dallas wouldn't be 4-1 if Dak was still the starter. I believe
You know what's so funny that you bring that up, Ray? And then, Mike, I'll let you go. There was a question when I was doing this show previously. Someone had asked me that. They said, would you rather a 80% Carson Wentz or 100% Nick Foles? And I said, I'd want 100% Nick Foles. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, you're right. There was just something about him with Doug Peterson under center that just made so much more sense. But Mike, I'm gonna let you go ahead, brother.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, to what Ray said, like, yeah, I mean, you see Cooper Rush, and I will give you this. I mean, Nick Foles, to me, the career he had, even though it was at that terrible school down south here, but when he first was with Chip Kelly, I mean, it was pretty good. But then Doug Peterson knew the importance of a great backup and drug him back from Kansas City to Philly. And you need a good backup. Cooper Rush, John, to your point, okay, yeah, 100 yards passing. I know in football, if you can't stop something, I'm going to keep doing it. It's like Denzel Washington's great line, and remember the Titans. I got 3 plays, coach. It's just like Novocaine. Give it time and it works. So if the Cowboys are running the ball, then run the ball. And yes, play great defense. Kellen Moore, though, here's the thing. They said that after watching the film, not because of Dak's injury, but week 1 against the Bucs, like, yeah, we need to be more balanced. We need to stay patient with the running game. And you have Pollard, you have Zeke. Kellen Moore actually last year, I think maybe it was like, I don't know, 7% of the snaps. It was something low and ridiculous that Pollard and Zeke were on the field together. Man, you can mix that up. I know Amari Cooper's not there, but for Cooper Rush, yeah, I'm not the type to say, oh, keep him playing until he loses. And when Dak is 100% healthy and can grip the ball and throw it, yes, Dak should be playing. But yesterday's win against the Rams, yeah, it is about the defense. I got to give Dorrance Armstrong a shout out. That first play of the game, blow up the inside line. Everybody's saying, oh, the Rams line is injured, this and that. And again, they are. And obviously Wentworth retired, which sucks. You're down to your third center. First play of the game, boom, scoop and score for DeMarcus Lawrence. And thank God it was a fumble because Mr. Worthless, Eric Anthony Brown, had a pass interference call when he didn't have to touch the guy. But that's neither here nor there. And I'm not bitter about him still anyway. But it is about the defense. Look, DeMarcus Lawrence is actually playing like he did his first 2 years. And when you have somebody like Micah Parsons on the other side, you have somebody like Dorrance Armstrong, who Dan Quinn can't stop saying great things about, not just because of yesterday, coming into yesterday. And like Raylan said, they haven't given up 20 points to anybody. No team has also scored multiple touchdowns on them in a game. Everybody says, oh, it's such a terrible game against the Bucs in week 1. Offensively, it was. Defensively, Tom Brady threw 1 touchdown and they had 4 field goals. They won the game. And Dallas only scored 3. Their offense was terrible. Defense wasn't. Defense is not going to be the issue. They stay healthy. And Leighton Vander Esch, too. I want to give him a shout out because when Mike McCarthy's best friend was there, he kept playing him on the strong side and in the middle. Dan Quinn says, oh, you like the weak side and you want to run from sideline to sideline? Okay. And I'll leave it on this, Eric. Dan Quinn, whatever they have to do, I will wrap it up, Ray, but it doesn't matter because I'm talking about my second place Cowboys. And Dan Quinn, pay him whatever you have to pay him because guess what? Everybody talks a Legion of Boom. Who was the defensive coordinator that whole time? That'd be Dan Quinn. So I'll just leave it at that. And Micah Parsons, yeah, Penn State linebackers, I love them.
Eric, do you know that my mouse was over that very thing? Like, I didn't press it though. Like, no, you know what? Hey, I will say, Mike, you have every reason to be excited about your team, man. And Micah Parsons is easily the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year right now. And it's not even like right now, it's not close.
Yeah, you're
now
right.
it's
And
not close.
I will say this, Ray, it was not you because I take accountability when I do it. That was me who said it because I'm tired of listening to Mike talk about them damn Cowboys. It's bad enough that I got to see him Wednesday night along with the return of our Queen of Hoops, Miss Megan Price, who's going to be back. But John, Ray, I'm giving both of y'all the night off. I'm bringing in my tag team partner. Y'all know him as Philly Jim. It's going to be an Eagles Cowboys show Wednesday night. So, Mike, don't go into hiding. Don't go missing. Let your job know now.
Eric,
Like
you know what I think would be amazing? I wish he was watching right now. We can clip this and you can tag him in it.
Oh, I will.
Now you need to do a show with you, Mike, because it's only 3 teams worth a damn right now in the NFC East, right?
Right.
You got to get my man Avery Graves on the show, man. You got to get you, Mike, and Avery on camera to talk about the NFC East.
Oh, Lord. We could do that. But Wednesday night, and Mike, like I said, don't go missing. Tell your job right now. Mike Haratonuto will not be in on Wednesday night because it is Eagles Dallas week. And I had to go get the young buck because we gonna let y'all know about this. Because see, I haven't talked this entire season in case y'all have not noticed, but I know y'all have because y'all 3 understand me. See, when we're on a roll and that momentum rides, I kind of just take things as they come to me. I accept my blessings. Okay. But there is two times a year where I just cannot be the professional, civilized individual. And it is this week coming up right now. I am doing 5, if not 6 shows this week because it is Eagles Cowboy week. Oh, best believe. Wednesday night, you think tonight is great. We giving you an encore on Wednesday. But anyhow, let's get back to the sports arena. Thank you very much for that. Gentlemen, I have to ask you a question, a very serious question here. The Pittsburgh Steelers season, is it over? Ray.
Oh, God. I hate to say this, but yes. But my caveat to that is y'all got to stop this foolishness, man. They've been waiting 5 years to act like they need it. Like, I don't understand how Mike Tomlin never had a losing season. And every year the Pittsburgh Steelers start off bad or slow or they don't look great. He's on the hot seat. Never had a losing season. Unreal. Probably going to have one this year. And that's what happened when your options are Mitchell Trubisky and a rookie. I don't see them pulling this back together. So my answer to your question is yes. Sadly.
I echo those sentiments. And I hate saying that because, again, everything that you said speaks so highly of who this man was, everything that he's accomplished as a head coach in the NFL. And years where you start off 11-0, then you lose the next 5, and then you don't win a playoff game. Oh, he's on the hot seat. He still sprung 11 wins in a season that was so up and down. You didn't know if you were playing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and he still was able to get it done. You know what I mean? So it's heartbreaking to know that this could potentially be a season that we're only week 5 and it's already over. But I do have to agree. Mike, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Well, I mean, over to the fact that, and again, talking heads and people that follow the team, preseason prediction, they weren't going to the playoffs anyway. Nobody's really picking them in the AFC with how they were to go to the playoffs. Finishing over 500 is one thing. So, I mean, they weren't. I don't believe they go to the playoffs in the first place. But like I said, until it's the last game. And Mike Tomlin shouldn't be on the hot seat. That's just ridiculous. That's just
agreed.
Somebody would snag it. If they said you're gone, there would be
going like that.
There'd be 7 or 8 owners' private jets sitting on the tarmac in Pittsburgh, trying to get Mike Tomlin to their team at the end of the year. But no, until they are. I mean, look, I think T.J. Watt. I know they said Nausgaard might be out for a little bit longer because he had some cleanup on his knee. I saw that on Sunday morning. So. But until they are under 500, then I'll believe it. But they were never going to the playoffs anyway. So I guess technically their season was over before it started.
John Scheer.
I mean, they're not making the playoffs, but I still think that they have a shot at maybe trying to get to 9-8 if that's what we're talking about. Like if we're talking about them trying to keep that streak alive for Mike Tomlin. Like when I watched Kenny Pickett yesterday, I was very impressed. Like you look at the box score and you may say, yeah, they got blown out, but like he made a lot of great plays, a lot of great throws. Like he did a lot of great things. His offensive line wasn't very good. He had Deontay Johnson drop a ball that was almost an interception, went right through his hands and almost into the defender's hands. So, like, Kenny Pickett, and then he got hit in the back of the knee the last play of the game, and he goes over to the guy, hits him in the back of the knee, and he gives him the business. Like, and he's a rookie quarterback. To me, that said a lot about what Kenny Pickett is. I think he's going to keep them in games. I really liked what I saw from him. Like, I mean, you guys may just see 38-3 in Buffalo, but Buffalo does that to everybody. Like,
no, we definitely know what the Steelers are capable of. It's
but
just
the offensive line
looking
just
at
you really missed an opportunity right there when you said Buffalo does this to everybody except.
They're 1-7 in their last 8.
We got limited time. We got limited time.
1-7.
I'm trying to keep things moving. We got limited time, but I mean, it's just the offensive line's not helping them. The defense without Watt just isn't the same. And Najee Harris, like, doesn't look like the same guy. Like, the backup Warren looks better than Najee Harris. It's crazy. I really don't think this is on Mike Tomlin. I just think that, they really haven't gone into rebuild mode in a while. They've kind of denied it. The GM has, and it's coming back to bite them.
Kelsey has his 4th touchdown.
Who threw him that touchdown? Did the backup come in?
Chase
he no good, Ray. He no good because he marched him down the field. But he's no good.
Hey, he threw the touchdown from the 1-yard line too. You know what's crazy? I don't know if y'all was following along. Kansas City kicked a field goal and missed it. And it was defensive.
All right, almost a 56-minute mark. Almost time.
Hey, we still got a couple things to do. And Ray, don't think I haven't forgot about you, sir. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do this right now because we bringing Ray Glenn to the front of the congregation, ladies and gentlemen. And here's why.
With all due respect to John, Eric, and Mike, not you, John, because you ain't talk yet. Where the hell y'all see 6 or 7 wins on their schedule? Who they supposed to beat? Listen, man, they get to play my Lions, who are going to be better this year, right? They get to play Seattle. They get Jacksonville. That's 3 maybe winnable games. The funny thing, I think, like somebody commented, said they're going to start 0-8. I don't know if Joe Namath back in the day in his pimp days when he was out there with all these women, I think he slept with the schedule maker's mom, because if you look at their first 8 or 9 weeks, Jesus Christ, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Miami, we're going to get to them later. They're going to be very good this year. Green Bay, Denver, New England, Buffalo before a bye week. They really could be 0-9 going into their bye week. I think their most winnable game, just for the fact that Flacco's going to be in the center, might be a sneaky week 1. Like, they might sneak up on Baltimore week 1. Flacco playing with a chip on his shoulder against his old team. They might. And there's no disrespect to Baltimore. That's just one of those weird things where it's like, the old quarterback, nobody's expecting it. Baltimore's not going to come out motivated. Other than that, man, 2-15. 2-15. And that's being generous. I don't know who those 2 wins going to be. I just say they're an NFL football team. They might win 2 games. They're going to be atrocious. That schedule is brutal. I don't know how y'all came up with 6 and 7. I don't know how you can look at this schedule and think they're going to beat 6 professional football teams this year. I don't see it. Not with Flacco, not with Zach Wilson, not with Geno. Mark Sanchez could come back. I could quarterback that team. They not winning 6 games this year. 2-15.
Wait until they talk to
NFC. Real quick, can you put me back on Solo real quick? Can you put me back on Solo just for a second?
Yes, sir. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, Mama Carrot to do though. That's all.
He's
and a 40 burger on the Dolphins.
I would like to say to anybody who follows the sports arena, watch this Heisman real quick. Megan said the team was going 1-15. They went to the Super Bowl. I just want to throw that out there. I'll get it off me real quick. Just say, so if the Jets go to the Super Bowl, then we can put it all on me. Until then, no, man, listen. I don't listen, how will players mess up? You know what I'm saying? I got to eat that crow. Although they very well could still lose the next however many and go 3-14. And I wouldn't be that far off. So right now they at 3. Y'all said 6. I said 2. We'll see how the rest go. Man, goodness gracious. And it's not that they won. It's that they dropped 40 on Miami. That just John, forget me coming to the front. John, explain yourself.
We're almost out of time. We got that 55-minute, and DBTV is 56 minutes.
Oh, he
I'm
don't
so
want to explain
sorry.
himself. One injury and he makes excuses. Oh,
And
Howard
there's
didn't
50
play.
seconds.
Tua
What can I
didn't
say?
play.
We got to
Hey,
follow
Brees
the
Hall
TV
destroyed you.
regulations.
Real
Brees
quick,
Hall destroyed you.
I owe
A
it
rookie.
I apologize again, Mama Care Tenuto. I should have not disrespected Joe Jets. I apologize to you. I apologize to Mike. I apologize to Rex Ryan, to Mark Sanchez, to Geno Smith, to Curtis Martin, to Joe Namath, to anybody who's ever meant anything to the New York Jets organization. I apologize for being so disrespectful in my vitriol towards y'all in the preseason, because I didn't just say y'all win too. I mean, I went on a rant. How did y'all see this guy just talk so bad about y'all? And meanwhile, y'all got 3 wins and my Lions got 1. So I will humble myself, eat this humble pie, eat this crow. Again, to everybody, especially you, Mama Care Tenuto, I apologize.
She appreciates.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a 10-second break, but we are going into overtime. We'll be right back. All right, we back. Now, John Shear, explain yourself, because we in overtime. Explain yourself, John Shear. The New York Jets put up 40 on your Miami Dolphins, sir.
Let's hear the excuses.
Yes.
I love that symbol, by the way. Look, the Dolphins have not lost with Tua as the quarterback yet. They're 3-0 with Tua. He didn't play, like, they were looking really good before he went out against Cincinnati. He came back against Buffalo, beat them. Like, he didn't play in the Jets game. You prepare. We know football. Like, you prepare all week with your backup quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. Then first play of the game, basically, he gets knocked out. Like, that changes everything. Then you lose your guy who signed in the offseason, Armstead. You lose him to a toe injury, and he doesn't come back. Xavier Howard doesn't play. You still haven't had Byron Jones. Like, they've had nothing but injuries. Waddle still isn't 100%. Tyreek Hill came in this game not 100%, and then he left the game. Like, the Dolphins are just, it's not an excuse, but you asked me to explain it, so I'm explaining it. Like, that's what the Dolphins are right now.
It is an excuse. Because when the
Cowboys,
Cowboys
they got their weapons, when they got their guys, their guns, and nobody's been able to beat them. Nobody.
Well, guess what? None of those guys. Tyreek don't play defense. Tua doesn't play defense, and it's not like Tua's numbers
Mike,
are like Josh Allen's.
I'm saying
he wasn't going to make up 23 points. It wasn't going to be a 23-point jump.
The only time the Dolphins have lost is when Teddy Bridgewater and Skylar Thompson have played.
But I will say this, John, and this what surprises me, and we talk our stuff, right?
Like, think about that.
I think teams have a habit of playing to their level of competition, right? I watched y'all defense get after Josh Allen unlike anything I've seen all season, right? Mm-hmm. It was unreal. It was like they made. We're gonna call him Batman because Superman's on TV right now. We're gonna call Josh Allen Batman, right? They made Batman look like Robin. Like, they made him look very normal. And it was like, if this defense is capable of this, but it was almost like I said, how those players rally around the backup. It was like, we're playing Josh Allen. Let's go get him. And then when you're playing Zach Wilson, you're like, and get 40 dropped on you. Like, how do you keep the Buffalo Bills in check? Forget what your offense do, right? Because your offense wasn't great against Buffalo. Right? I don't know how y'all defense
had the ball for over 40 minutes.
That's even worse.
No,
that's
I'm just
even worse.
saying, like, Miami barely had the ball against Buffalo.
Right, that's what that, but that's even worse. The Buffalo Bills, if not the best, one of the top 3 high-octane offenses in the NFL right now. It's them, Kansas City, and I don't know what's going on with Cincinnati. They're not looking like last year. They got the weapons, but it's just not coming together, right? But Buffalo and Kansas City, I tell people in fantasy, you can pistol Mahomes and Josh Allen for 303 touchdowns, right? Like, they're that good. Y'all held that offense, that same offense we just saw destroy the Rams, destroy Pittsburgh. Like, they just running through people. And when they had the ball for 40 minutes, y'all held them in check. And then y'all got 40 dropped on y'all by the Jets. I don't understand that at all. Like,
a couple of those touchdowns at the end were like Miami going for it on their own 25, just out of desperation. And then you turn it over on downs, and then, they easily scored. You know what I mean? Like a couple touchdowns here
because
and there.
They got beat down the other 3 quarters.
It wasn't a beatdown. No, it's just like I said.
Yeah,
I mean, Miami just isn't 100%.
Sauce Gardner didn't look like that number 1 pick, that top 5 pick that he is. Yeah. So
like I said, Mike, whenever you go into a week with the quarterback and then he gets knocked out, your game plan is him all week. He takes first team reps all week. and then he gets knocked out almost immediately. Like, that changes
Okay.
everything.
John?
Oh, Devontae Adams, baby!
Mike had to have bet on this game. Like, that's the only reason.
No, I just want the Raiders to win, baby.
Hey,
Thought maybe he had like a draft.
He went for 58 earlier. Just went for 48 now.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Sorry.
John, that's fine, Mike. John, what I will say to you is this, and then we are going to move on. What do I always say when you start talking about your team and you are justifying what happens with that team?
I'm explaining to you. I'm just
John, I let you talk.
Well, you asked.
All I want you to do is keep the same energy. Because let's just take, for example, let's say Aaron Rodgers goes down with the Packers and Jordan Love comes in and the Packers lose a game. I want you to keep that same energy that you have with Teddy Two Gloves.
That's why I'm not freaking
Skylar
out.
Thompson.
Yeah.
I want you that's all I want you to do.
Yeah, that's why I'm not freaking
energy
out, because I know, like I know that when, like, Tua is 3-0 right now, like, as a starter. He hasn't lost a game. So I know when he's the starter, when he's in, they haven't lost. So until somebody beats them, I haven't seen anybody be able to stop the Tua-led Dolphins yet. So, like, I'm not worried. You know, schedule lightens up. They got through the hardest part of the schedule. That first 4 games, that was murder's row, and they got through it.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving, though. And I'm prefacing my comments here saying, gentlemen, we are not talking about the Detroit Lions. We are specifically talking about the New England Patriots and their third-string quarterback. I don't want to hear no Lions talk. All right?
Yeah, right.
But we have to ask the question right now. With the fact that Mac Jones is out and Brian Hoyer is going to be out for a period of time, is Zappe going to be a la kind of what Tom Brady was? Because Tom Brady was a 4th-string quarterback who came in and took the reins and then went on this phenomenal 20-year career. I'm not putting the two of them in the same category. What I'm saying is, are we seeing history repeat itself? And could Zappe actually be the guy to turn this season around for the New England Patriots? Mike, I'll start with you.
Look, when Brady went down with a torn ACL, I mean, Matt Castle won 10, 11 games, didn't even go to the playoffs. So, look, Belichick, I mean, being in charge of the team is going to have an offense that's, again, you can relate it to, we talked about the Cowboys earlier with Cooper Rush. Ray said, run the ball, play defense, and we know Belichick can coach defense no matter who's calling it. And the way the defense balled out yesterday. But, I mean, look, the low-hanging fruit, like, you know, all the Patriots fans, you know, well, I mean, they're from, you know, Boston area. We know that we're not creative, Eric, but the whole Zappe hour, that was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, this guy, look, all he has to do is not turn the ball over. He throws a pretty good ball. But I mean, it's definitely, to what we're all just talking about, backup quarterbacks and stuff in that division. You're really, the chances to beat Buffalo are slim, but with a backup is really slim. And with a 3rd-string quarterback, it's pretty much slim to none. If he goes on a run, Belichick will leave him in, though. So to answer your question there, to be determined, because if he's not turning the ball over, yeah, Mac Jones is his guy, but Belichick, hey, look, when Bledsoe went down, Bledsoe wasn't turning the ball over. He went with Brady. Brady got hurt actually in the divisional game. Bledsoe came in and beat the Steelers back then. But if Zappe's winning and not turning the ball over, Belichick will just keep playing him. And you know, here's his press conference. Are we going to see Mac Jones? You see our depth chart. Zappe's a starting quarterback. So I just think that it's to be determined.
It wasn't even about what y'all was talking about. Mike, did you see? Instead of going for the tie, that the Raiders went for 2 and didn't get it?
Yeah, I know. Yes.
I don't understand these coaches.
It makes no sense, Ray.
Hey,
you score a touchdown.
On the replay, it looks like where his knee dropped, the ball was
That's not Ray's point.
That's not my point. The point is, why are you going for 2? Like, why are you going for 2?
Because you're on the road and you want to win.
It's like the Chargers thing yesterday. 4th and 2, your own 46 and going for it.
Brandon Staley's driving me crazy. But anyway, Zappe, Ray.
Man, listen. I don't know what Eric thought was going to happen. I don't know how he thinks we can possibly talk about this game without talking about the Detroit Lions. I don't know how he
I
thinks
was trying to protect you, sir. I really was.
No, you can't. You see this hat I wear? I rep my team even when we bad. But I could have said this and who knew I knew. I really could have. You remember when we did our predictions and y'all was so sold on the Lions and I said, this is what we do, man. Like, have you ever heard of a team having the number one offense and worst defense in the NFL? Because before last week, we had the highest scoring offense and the worst scoring defense in the NFL. We had the most points scored and we had the most points given up. That is unreal, right? And John, I'm gonna let you talk your stuff because you're supposed to. We weren't playing all those games from way behind. We was having shootouts with people.
Eagles,
you better ask that Philly. Go look at the game against Philly.
Yeah, John.
We started off. We jumped on their neck.
Kicked.
No, they were not.
The whole game.
John, you weren't watching week one.
Early. We jumped on their neck early.
And then they jumped up big.
Then they jumped up, and then we came back. It was a back and forth game. It wasn't they came out, punched us in the mouth, and then we just played from behind all game. We jumped out ahead early. We played every game tough except for this last game. I've never heard of a team going into a game into week 5 of the NFL with the highest scoring offense and then score 0 and get beat by a third. First off, let's stop this Zappy stuff. No, he's not going to be close to Tom Brady. Just quick question. Do you like the Green Bay Packers? Bart Starr, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, right? Who has the single season highest passing game for the Green Bay Packers?
Aaron Rodgers. That's it.
Don Mikowski. Don Mikowski.
Nope.
Bart Starr.
Matt Flynn. You know who it was against? That's what we do. If you want to make a name for yourself, you play against the Detroit Lions. That's what happens. That's why we're talking about Zappy, because he went out and won 29 to zip.
That was all the
Detroit Lions. Man, God, man. I love our colors, though. Y'all see my hat? I got this hat for my birthday.
That's a beautiful looking hat.
A nice hat.
I got another one, my Lions jersey over there. I got another hat. Y'all see I wrap my cup. We suck right now. I like St. Brown. I like it. We're not Zappy. No,
he ain't 100%.
I'm not. No, not sold on Zappy.
Swift is always hurt.
Okay,
St. Brown ain't 100.
John,
we're not supposed to talk Lions.
John, talk to me about Zappy.
I mean, I really don't know what to say about Zappy. The defense is doing all this. I haven't seen. I saw one throw that was nice, that touchdown that he had. But other than that, I don't see anything special about this guy. He came in the Packers game, and I'm like, is this a punter? Who's this guy? Do they not have enough quarterbacks? I don't know. Zappy. Please let him be your franchise quarterback for the next 5 to 10 years, New England, please, because it'll be enjoyable to watch you sit in the basement for the next 5 to 10 years. Please go ahead and make him your franchise QB. I mean, I still think the same thing with Mac Jones. It's gonna be the same way, but I ain't worried about no damn, Zappy, Zap Brannigan, from Futurama, whatever you want to call him. I ain't worried.
Listen, that's fine. I just had to ask the question based on what we saw yesterday. All right, let's do our segments, and then we are going to close out tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning and chiming in. We love the comments. Big shout out to everybody. Our man Denzel Snipes in the comments, along with our brother Joe Carlino from Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. My brother who will be on the show this Wednesday, James Tatum. Even our man Ty Ray, who was in here with us. And look at this. Our man Tyler Ingram, man. Hey, I'm glad you are safe, my brother. I know you are down there in that Naples, Fort Myers area, brother. Please stay safe. Let us know if you need anything. Shout out to this man right here, Greg West. But all right, gentlemen, let's get to the segments here. And I'm going to start with my man, Mike. I'm going to let you go first. Talk to me, Mike, about the NHL.
Yeah, season kicks off tomorrow. Unfortunately, the Lightning have to open up on the road with that terrible against that terrible Rangers team, but it'll be on ESPN. And Vegas and LA, and a lot of people I know are excited to see that matchup, because with Vegas's lineup this year, I mean, last year, if you didn't have over 100 points in the East, by the way, you weren't going to the playoffs, which is insane.
It really is.
That's how top heavy the Eastern Conference was. But Eric, I wanted to dedicate this first preseason NHL segment to Thursday, October 13th, when the Devils will show how improved they are. These young guys are now a year older, and I'm looking for big things from Heischer and Hughes. And they get to go to that dump in Philly, and the Devils open up with the Flyers. And it couldn't be any better open to the season on Thursday in the Eastern Conference. I do hope Tampa does beat up on New York tomorrow night. That would be nice. And as much as I can't stand LA for getting lucky and beating the Devils in the Cup in 2012, still not bitter about that. I hope Vegas wins that game. But yeah, Thursday, baby.
Hey, Mike, I'm just gonna say this real quick.
Philly week.
So you just gonna be crying from Thursday to Monday, right? I just want to make sure you clear, because you know Broad Straight Bullies are back in business. So
they're gonna be the worst team in the East.
Okay. All right. So when you crying Thursday and then you gonna dry them tears up, get them new tear ducts ready for Sunday Night Football. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
Let me go to my man John Shear, because he's got his baseball. John, talk to me, brother.
Is Mike Cartenuto the devil? Like, this guy roots for the New Jersey Devils, ASU.
I'm a Sun Devil, Jerry.
What is this guy, like the devil himself? Like, where it roots for all these like awful teams? Like,
my horns hold up my halo. Awful teams.
The devil himself. Like, I'm convinced.
Anyway, look at the trash you're wearing. Go ahead. Go with baseball. Go. Get out of here.
Hey, man, bring Eric on the screen. I need Eric on the screen for this and what I'm about to say. Please. I need Eric on the screen because Eric's going to love this. The Mets always met, Eric Wilson. They always met. I told Megan a while ago, and she posted in our chat, oh, look, the Mets clinched, back a while ago. And I'm like, the Mets always met. They always find a way. And what did they do? Oh, they had a big 10-game lead multiple times and just choked away to the Braves. And guess what? Division matters, because guess what? The Braves win their division. They get a bye. So what does that do to the Mets? They go to the wild card round. What do the Mets do in the wild card round? Oh, they do what the Mets always do. They choke it away. And guess who's not playing in the NLDS? You're right. You guessed it. The New York Mets. Just like always. So congratulations, Braves. Congratulations, Phillies. The only two teams in the NL East still playing, because the Mets always find a way to choke it away. They're one of them teams in sports you can count on, always choking it away. I love it. It's just like my favorite thing about the MLB, besides my Orioles. Like, the Mets falling apart is like, just, I mean, it's like whenever you look forward to turkey on Thanksgiving or the mashed potatoes or whatever you look forward to on Thanksgiving, Mets choking, it's just one of my favorite things. I look forward to it every year.
John, you just got me in a work. I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. I'm gonna put it to you like that, okay? I'm just sleeping on the couch.
Just don't show this to your wife. That way you know.
She's watching. We're live.
Oh, well,
who
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you in
followers?
trouble.
Man.
Oh my
First
God.
of all, John.
Hey.
All
right, Ray. Hold on. We're gonna let Ray close us out. We gotta go. Ray, NBA segment, sir.
NBA, two parts for y'all, and they'll both be short. First off, I'm excited to see a lot of people getting back on the floor. A lot of guys who missed either a lot of time or the entire season last year have all suited up during preseason. All have looked good. All have looked healthy. We see Anthony Davis the other night. We see Ben Simmons back on the floor. We see John Wall back on the floor. We see Kawhi Leonard back on the floor. We see Dame Lillard back on the floor. Zion Williamson back on the floor. A lot of star power that we missed last year. We didn't miss it because there's so much talent, but those guys are back on the floor. Part two, NBA. Fans, media, players. Shout out to Giannis because he gave the props. I know y'all can't fathom this in y'all head because the NBA has conditioned y'all to believe that the game is centered around big men, right? We went from Bill Russell to Kareem, and then wings kind of took over, those mid-sized guys, right? Magic, Bird, Mike, and then you have Kobe, you have LeBron, you got the big man again with Shaq. So y'all not used to a small, frail guy possibly being the best player in the league. Steph Curry is the best player in the league. Get over it. Y'all give props to anybody else that win. He won in 15. Y'all said it was lucky because they was injured. He came back with 73 wins. Y'all said he choked and didn't get the job done. He won 2 more. Y'all said he needed KD. What's y'all excuse now? 4 championships, 6 finals, scoring titles, MVPs, 3-point records. He's doing it all. And the whole league is playing catch up to him until somebody knocks him off the throne. Steph Curry is the best player in the league. Deal with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here on Monday night with the Sports Arena. This is going to be a 2-minute barn burner as Vegas has the ball and they need to get down the field to kick a field goal. So we're going to go ahead and watch that and say goodnight to all of you. We'll be back on Wednesday. Peace.